down, so they're still working on some of that to get people up here. They're still filing in. So since we do have a little bit of a crowd here today, we're going to make a little bit of extra noise as we go through. As I mentioned, my name is Joe Stuber, writer, producer, host of Comic Book Central. It's comicbookcentral.net, or Comic Books Come to Life. If you like people who bring comic books to life, that's the podcast you want to check out. Interviews with all the kind of folks you see here. Many of the guests here at Terrificon have been on the show, so check it out. First of all, big hand from Mitch Halleck, the Terrificon team, all the volunteers, all the guys and gals you see in the back. Let's have a big hand for everybody. All right, I hope you like the sound of my voice because you're going to be hearing it for about 4 hours today. So we're going to be doing, I'm going to be bringing you 8 amazingly talented folks as we go through today. One of them is right here today. He is Spawn, he is Black Dynamite, he is Bronze Tiger, and he is tougher than the rest. Michael Jai White, he's going to talk. He's going to run on stage. This is what we do. You get your work out today. Have a seat right there.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for coming all early before things. I was like, who's supposed to be here by this time? They just opened the doors. Well, thanks for coming.
But you've got a workout hour, and like you do crazy amount in the morning, right?
Yeah, I said I was going to work out this morning, but I woke up like 40 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
But okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. You got some good news. We're going to talk about all the good news that's going on right now. But you just told me you got some good news today. I think it's good news.
It's news that's freaking me out, man.
Why don't you tell us what your good news is?
I don't know. I have to think about it. It's still freaking me out.
Okay.
I'll talk about that a little later.
Okay. Okay. You it's a nice delivery in your family. Let's put it that way.
Well, yeah.
A nice delivery. So a newborn has come into your family. So we're. Here's some other good news, man. Oh, go ahead.
My grandson just had a child.
Wow.
It's too
You
young.
can tell.
Which makes me a...
Great grandpa.
How is that possible? You're only like 35 years old,
Explain
right?
this to you. I'll tell you later.
The birds and the bees.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna have that chat how it actually works.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, so you took like you were young when you had a kid, and then so like, your
Absolutely.
kid was young. It's like following.
Yeah, it's like a trend.
Which is started.
Yeah, it's kind of still bizarre. Like I said, I'm still a little freaked out.
I did like that just came in, so it's like you're still processing it. So
Yes,
we'll talk about things that won't freak you out today.
Mhm.
That'll help you get your mind straight.
Yeah.
One of the things I saw was a welcome site, Arrow Season 7 trailer at San Diego Comic-Con. What did we see in that?
You might have saw some old Arrow villains coming back.
Okay.
Like Vinnie Jones playing the character Brick,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Cody Rhodes playing Samson, and shoot,
There's another one.
Michael Jai White playing what is it, Bronze Tiger? Yeah,
Bronze Tiger. Now, for comic book fans in the audience here, I think, you know, the last time we saw you on air, it's going back a little ways, but, you know, you tend to be in prison a lot, and then you tend to get out of prison, right?
Yeah,
So this is like,
this part by itself. Like, yeah.
you've stayed there, yeah, Michael Jai White doesn't go to prison, but your character does, Bronze Tiger, he seems to get in and out of jail a lot. In the comic book stuff, I don't know if you know this, in the Arrow comic book, like, they killed off your character, did you know that?
No, I did not. Of course, I've heard it.
Yeah, like they used his own like talons against him or something. It was like a whole Suicide Squad thing. So
Yeah, it was real suicide.
yeah, so thankfully that didn't happen to you. So how did this character come back? Did you know you were going to be coming back? Like when
No.
the last time you appeared?
No, I didn't know. I mean, it was a call from Mark Guggenheim, who's here.
He is.
Yeah, so I didn't know anything about my own cartoon demise, but
The comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to Mark about that one. Yeah.
But hey, this supersedes that, I guess.
Okay, so what we don't want any spoilers, but we know that Oliver's going to be in jail for a while. It's not going to be. We talked to Mark yesterday. He said it's not going to be episode 1 and he's out. So he's going to be in jail for a little while.
Yeah.
Apparently, everybody he's ever put into prison is all in the same room in the prison, and you guys are gonna wreak some havoc. So, what can you tell us about your shooting so far? What you filmed so far? Is there anything you can tell us? Is there even like a mood that you can kind of set for us that we can look for?
I don't really know they keep me in the dark about that, which is smart.
Yeah.
And it makes it exciting for me because I can't wait to get the new script and figure out what I'm doing. So
Okay.
I kind of dig that.
We know there's some pretty intense fight scenes. Have you filmed any fight scenes yet?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Stephen Amell tweeted out that an unnamed actor got him in an area that got him in a certain area.
Oh wow, he tweeted about that.
He did tweet about that, but he was an unnamed actor. But he said he's in the sizzle reel, which we know you're in the sizzle reel.
Right. Yeah, I kind of caught it one time.
Can you confirm anything for us here at Terrificon this weekend? Did you?
Yeah, I don't think Stephen is. He just had a child, so I think he's okay.
It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well,
He moved, right? He missed his
well,
mark.
yeah. His, GoDaddy placement was. Yeah. I don't often slip up like that.
Okay, so did he miss a mark or did you? It was because
No,
you guys are really getting into these fights. He said he's been beaten up like crazy.
Stephen goes for it. He really goes for it. It's like he makes. There's a part of me. I direct and I produce and stuff like that, and I have a certain producer-director brain, even though I'm an actor. And when he does all these physical things, I get nervous because I think about the production. I'm like, what if he gets hurt? What if somebody kicks him in the groin? That kind of thing. But it wasn't a kick. So, it wasn't my accuracy gone. It was one of these things where it's like I slam on the table and, so.
Things
sometimes-
move, props were involved.
And, knees get introduced to projects.
But he's all right. You guys are cool.
I think he's all right. He went on vacation shortly afterwards.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, we'll just let that.
Yeah.
We'll just let that there. So, okay, so born in Brooklyn, you moved to Bridgeport. So this is almost a home.
It is.
Homecoming for you.
Yes. You know how many people I saw from high school who don't look the same anymore and expect me to recognize them because I haven't seen them in 30 years?
Well, you're a great grandfather. I mean, that's maybe they're great grandfathers too.
Yeah, everybody, so many people were like, hey, my aunt so-and-so, and it's like, I get nervous. It's like, and, that kind of stuff. You know my mom. My mom went to school with you. And I'm like, because I'm afraid of, and you're my dad. Mike's from Bridgeport. He's one of my karate students for a long time. And he didn't age at all either. Yeah,
Like you.
but it's he knows I was running around when I was younger.
Well, what kind of kid were you? What were you? So did sports interest you? Did you got into martial arts at 7 or 8?
Yeah. I was
Early.
I was in martial arts real early.
So what was the spark? What made you look at? Did you see a movie? Did you see a TV show? Did somebody in the family?
Bruce Lee, like a lot of people, he was such an amazing presence. You kind of what kid didn't want to be that guy? So that influenced me, and also insecurity influenced me because you grow up in a rough town and you tend to want to build armor against the things that affect you. So martial arts was my armor. So I just got deep into it and just I couldn't get enough of it.
But at 7, that's pretty amazing. How fast did you learn, and at what point did you start getting black belts? Because you're 7 different disciplines, right?
Well,
8.
8 now.
Yeah.
I have black belts in 8 different styles now. But look how old I am, right? So
It's experience.
So I just kept going from one thing to another. I never, and just like life, I never look at anything from one particular group, like one style, and that's it. So I like seeing things from other perspectives. So, you know, and I really attribute that to life. You know, you find what's good in a certain style, just like in a certain culture or belief system. And you take what's good and, you know, apply it to your life.
Teaching was a part of it too, right? You did some teaching for a while?
Yeah, I was a school teacher. I was an EMD, emotionally disturbed, like a special ed teacher. I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. That's before I did, the acting stuff.
Okay, so there's martial arts, there's teaching, so there's all these different career paths you could have gone down. What made you decide to get into those, even into teaching special needs kids, and then also?
I was a special needs kid. I understood them a great deal, and I stumbled into it and found that I had a real strong talent for teaching. And I learned that in the inner city, there were a lot of teachers that come out of college who want to change the world, but they have no life experience. And they're trying to teach kids who have a lot more life experience than they did. And so I kind of stumbled into it and realized these kids, I mean, I can get through to these kids like other teachers could. And so I actually did a lot of really great work. It was you know, I had a lot of reinforcements from the superintendents, and I really tried to implement things and teach others like, hey, this is how you do this. They have a mentality on the street. You know, you gotta find someone's weakness and exploit it. You know, so they were doing that to these teachers, and you know, wrapping the teachers around their little finger, which is still going on today. But you know, I just knew that you can't kid a kidder. You know, I know all the tricks, so I didn't care what somebody was going through. It's kind of like your education is your responsibility. And this day and age, a lot of people accept, they accept excuses. And it's, if you're, you know, society is softened a great deal, and you know, and society is kind of helping kids not become what they can be.
So you're kind of helping them to look at it from a different perspective, and not so much as like, what can I take, or how can I take advantage of this person, but how can I use my skill set to better myself instead of putting someone else out. You're helping them kind of flip the script a little bit.
Well, I'm you know, teaching them the power that they actually have, and there's a victim mentality that people are learning, and then they go to the bank with it. This victim mentality is part of the streets is like, okay, you get by with the least. And so they adapt to that instead of work hard for what you know, for your future. So there's not enough people teaching that. And all of this, you know, strength and anger and everything else should be focused at anything that threatens your education. But there's not, you know, like I say, there's not enough people teaching them that.
I'm sure the martial arts discipline probably plays a lot into that. You can probably teach a lot of lessons just through that discipline, I imagine, too. When you talk about martial arts, let's segue into acting. I know there's martial artists, I know there are movie actors, and I know there are martial artists who are movie actors.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help us determine the differences between these, and who are martial artists who are actors?
Oh, who are in movies?
Yes. Who do you, yes.
Well, okay. The top martial artists who are also in movies, I'll start from the top and go down if I can. I would say Chuck Norris is number one. He is a consummate martial artist, and he comports himself as a gentleman. His work ethic, his commitment to the principles of martial arts is, you know, can't be matched because he's been doing it for a long time. Tony Jaa is a consummate martial artist. He's got the greatest temperament I've ever seen. I don't think he has the ability to lose his temper, honestly. And he's actually a Buddhist monk. He's a real Buddhist monk in real life. Tony Jai officiated part of my wedding. But there's Jackie Chan. There's a lot of them. There's Donnie Yen. These guys are amazing martial artists that they live it, And then, I think it just goes down from there.
So, but there are some that do martial arts.
You want me to talk about Steven Seagal? Don't you?
Congratulations on your great grandson.
Well, I would say, okay, I know people know about Steven Seagal, calling myself and John Claude, whose birthday is today, I think. Happy birthday, John Claude. And I'm going to send
He's
him.
right here, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm going to send him a message later today. Yeah, there was a thing of Steven Seagal talking about John Claude and myself not being a martial artist, which I think that makes him look silly. Not only did he hire me 3 times in movies because of my martial arts, when he was the director of the movie, is this stuff you can check? Okay, if I'm not a martial artist, why are you hiring me? But, if you want to know who's a martial artist, just think about what you know about martial arts. Integrity, discipline, respect, physical fitness. Does any of that remind you of Steven Seagal? You can answer that.
You get the question, they have the answer. So let's take let's take some questions from the audience. If you've got some questions, think about what we can talk about Spawn, we can talk about Dark Knight. You've got an upcoming project too, the Outlaw Johnny Black. This is going to be a crowdfunded flick. Is a crowdfunded flick close to?
No, what it is that it's not a crowdfunded thing, and we use the term fan funding. What it is we were getting the fans involved in a way that is seldom, an opportunity. And we're gonna bless the fans that get involved early, right? They got stuff that, like special posters, special T-shirts, things that are not going to exist when we go to production. Now we're dealing with which contract we want to do. The movie's going to be done, but we connected with fans, and the fans that joined us early, they're going to have insight to everything going on, unlike any other time. So they're going to be abreast of, who's joined the cast, what developments are going on, and it's kind of like an exclusive club. And the folks that have gotten the VIP T-shirts, and some will get walk-on roles. Some people have won, roles to, get shot in the movie.
A saloon or something.
And there's things where you can get the livery stable named after you.
Oh, nice.
Things things that will, for the rest of your life, you will be connected with the movie. Movies outlive us, and so I wanted to give that opportunity to people, and say thank you and give them something, because there's something about people when we do movies, it becomes somewhat of a club. When you get a movie done, it's like this club lasts for your whole life, and it's an experience. And I wanted to open that experience up to our viewers. And I don't think they know how much fun is in store.
This is kind of like High Plains Drifter meets Mel Brooks' Blazing Saddles, kind of like meets Joshua.
I would say that's not inaccurate. It's around there. It's really the makers of Black Dynamite bring you a Western.
A fun Western.
That's what it's about.
Some crazy stuff. I saw the trailer. Yeah, it's some amazing stuff. So you can check. And how can people find out
that
about
trailer? See, And a lot of people were confused by this. They thought the trailer was the finished movie.
That was the short, yeah.
No, that trailer was shot in one day. I shot the trailer in one day. It's a concept trailer, okay? It's not the official trailer for the movie. The official trailer for the movie, you're gonna see a lot of stars in that because every day there are major stars and major people signing up to do the movie, and it's just out of love for it. Our composer is a guy named Michael Bearden, who is like the Quincy Jones of today. This guy, Michael Bearden, has he's created six soundtrack songs with orchestras and everything like that. Michael Bearden was Michael Jackson's musical director, and This Is It. If you ever see This Is It, that's Michael Bearden with Michael Jackson. He's been Prince's musical director. Lady Gaga, right now, he started as Madonna's musical director. He's the musical director for the last 2 Academy Awards and the last 2 Super Bowls. And he's working on the movie. Yes.
It's OutlawJohnnyBlackMovie.com. That's where you can find out more. And you folks have some questions. We have a microphone right up here, so if you want to jump up and ask some questions. And what's your name?
Michael.
How do you spell that?
His name is yours. That's right. Between the films Never Back Down and Blood and Bone, did you ever have any input on the fight choreography or the scenes?
I had all the input. Yes. I mean, yeah. Pretty much, it comes down to me doing most of my own choreography because I know what my strengths are. A lot of choreographers, they think of what looks cool. I approach it from what would the character do. So it's a little bit different, you know. So I will fight differently with different characters. You know, 'cause no 2 characters should fight exactly the same.
Thank you for the question. Folks have any more? We've got Spawn. We can talk about Spawn. We can talk about Dark Knight. Talk about Arrow. What's your name?
Julius. So Mike, who influenced you the most throughout your martial arts career from the time that you got started up until this point?
Okay, I'll list some influences because there's a lot of folks. Of course, Bruce Lee when I was a kid. Luckily, the 2.
I mean, somebody who's personally trained you?
What's that?
Somebody that you actually learned from, I guess.
Yeah. That's what I was getting to. The next part. I had 2 heroes. There was Bill Wallace and Joe Louis, who were basically the most dominant kickboxers in the history of all fighting. And I trained with both of them, and I became their student, and later did seminars with them. Third, Benny Urquidez, Benny Urquidez is, to me, accomplished something that no other martial artist has done. Benny Urquidez is one of the greatest fighters who ever fought, and is half of one of the greatest fight scenes that's ever been filmed. So nobody has done that. Legitimacy in fighting and legitimacy on film. Nobody comes close to Benny Urquidez. He fought with Jackie Chan in Meals on Wheels in what is arguably the greatest fight scene ever, or one of them. If it's not, it's of the top 3. And this is a legitimate fighter. So he stands by himself. And that's somebody who's also been one of my instructors.
And my next question is, how old were you when you actually got to train with these guys?
Well, I first started sparring with Bill Wallace at 17. I would train with Bill Wallace, and he accepted me, and I went across. I took a Greyhound bus across the country and trained with Bill Wallace in California. And we get up in the mornings and train with like the world champion. So, I mean, I'm one of the luckiest martial artists on the planet, you know. Don't tell Steven Seagal.
Oh,
Yeah.
Steven Seagal makes another
Yeah.
appearance. If there are more questions, you guys can just come on up to the mic, ask anything you want. One thing I wanted to know too, oh, go ahead. Yep.
Hi,
Hi.
Your name?
Diane.
Hi, Diane.
I have a question. How did you like working on The Dark Knight?
Oh, I love working on The Dark Knight. I was a little intimidated at first because Christopher Nolan, I think, is a genius, and I expected so much, like I didn't know what it was going to be like. I thought, you know, he was a genius guy. Is there going to be some kind of weirdness on set? No. It's like he was the coolest cat on the planet. I asked him questions, like I remember we were going to do the scene where me and my guys are in the pool room, and I said, hey, do you want us to feel? You want us to feel like we've been here for a long time, or do you want to feel like we just got here? And he goes, you know, I didn't think about that. What do you think? And I said, we can try it both ways. Yeah, okay, we'll try it both ways. And I was like, and also, I have an American accent, but all my guys here, because we were shooting in London, I said, all my guys here are British. Is that strange? Do you want them to speak like me, or do you want me to speak like them? And he says, you know, never thought about it. What do you think? And I was like, what? You know, what do you want to do? I'm like, this is The Dark Knight. It's like, really? And so he's like, hey, everything on set was just like that. And I mean, it couldn't have been cooler. It couldn't have been a more relaxed atmosphere in any movie I've been on. It was a pleasure. I love to see more of that stuff.
Strange for that massive a film too.
Yeah.
Working with Heath Ledger too. Probably one of the creepiest scenes. Certainly in a superhero movie ever put to film. But one of the creepiest scenes of all time, the "Why So Serious" scene. You mentioned before in other interviews the fact that. Give us a little bit of background on your experience with Heath Ledger, and then sort of how he kind of did the same, like ask your opinion about stuff, right?
Yeah, you kind of like don't want to bother Heath because you know he's Heath Ledger, and there's other guys who played my backup guys who were just basically some of them don't have lines, you know. Well, you kind of give the star his space, but he's talking to us. I mean, he's so engaging. I'm kind of an amateur magician, and so is he. And we were trading tricks all the time and doing all kinds of goofy stuff, putting quarters on our elbows and snatching them off. We were like kids, and that's what he was like. He was not in character all the time. He was just a really nice guy. And he'd ask these guys that were standing around, whatever, what they thought of a take that he'd done. And he'd ask me, because he'd be playing around with the voice, and he'd speak like this or whatever. And one time he kind of did this kind of Tom Waits kind of thing, and I was like, yo, he's like, he's doing that type of thing. And I kind of believe that might have been the take that they used, because he was just really having fun. But he really asked me my opinion, what I think about it, because I'm this close to him. I'm like, yeah, that voice right there is kind of creepy. And it's a little weird, you know. And he said, you think so? Yeah, and he kind of did that gravelly thing. But no actor in my entire career has ever asked my opinion on their acting. And, he kind of taught me to be able to do that as well. Because why not, It was such a cool thing, but he was that kind of guy. So sometimes it sets me when people think that he's one of these drug-addled actors who who's a method actor and stayed in character and all that crap. There's nothing like that. Fact is, he made a mistake a lot of people have made when you take sleeping pills and you get used to it sometimes, and you up the dosage, and then that becomes your routine. But then you get an injury, right? And you get put on a painkiller, and you don't realize that pain medication on top of your sleeping medication is a horrible combination. I almost did that one time myself, but since my wife happened to be a doctor, she's like, "Oh no, you can't do this," because I'm like, "Oh shoot, really?" And unfortunately, a lot of people make that mistake because you don't connect an injury to a sleeping pill. So, and that happened when he was working on the movie Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, where he worked these weird hours. So sometimes, you know, as an actor, you're working 12 to 16 hours a day while everybody else is asleep. You sometimes try to, you know, do things that, you know, get your sleep. Yeah, so I mean, that's unfortunate, but that's what happened.
My wife was a lifesaver on that too. One other thing you talk about Heath Ledger too is that, and when you're filming, if I'm on your close up, I'm not necessarily going to be seeing the other actor. Sometimes they're there, sometimes it's a grip, sometimes it's somebody reading lines or whatever. Heath was there.
No, yeah.
And the Joker was there.
Yeah, the first time.
And they're not shooting him.
Yeah, the first time we worked on together is in that boardroom scene, and Heath is, you know, coming down there and saying, "You're the boardroom. This is all of us. They're shooting this way, right?" So all until lunch, the camera's faced this way, and Heath is where I am, behind camera, and the boardroom is looking at him. So I asked Christopher Nolan, I said, what are we going to shoot after lunch? He said, well, we're going to finish up all the close-ups and everything of the boardroom. And I said, so Heath's in total costume, and he's not going to be on camera this entire day. He says, yeah. But he got in that makeup just for the benefit of us, the people looking at it. And I said, wow. Being the guy who played Spawn, I wouldn't have done that shit. There's no way I'd be in a t-shirt and jeans talking about whatever. I mean, it just, to do that for everybody else, just for the sake of the other actors, is an amazing thing. And we lost a really good guy with Heath Ledger.
Got time for a couple more questions. If you guys, anybody have another question? I wanted to. Yeah, go ahead.
How'd you get involved in the? You talked about Arrow. How'd you get involved in Arrow to start, and it's like Stephen Mel's ass.
Well, I mean, Arrow. I mean, there's no real story other than they want you to come on the show Arrow as Ron Steiger. Like, what's up, Ron Steiger? I didn't know. I mean, my wife told me all about this stuff. It's like, my wife knows much more about comics and the DC universe and everything else. It's crazy that she's the one that's.
She did the homework?
No, it's not. She knows it. She knows this stuff. Like, and she
was peppered with questions.
No, she had all the information. Just, I said, what's Ron Steiger? Oh, Ron Steiger, such. She knew everything. You know, she's my cheat sheet.
So she saved your life and brought you up to speed on the characters too. Yeah, I want to close out just with a little bit, just a question of Spawn too. Just what kind of comic book preps did you do, and how did you see the character of Al Simmons?
I got all the comics for Spawn when I was getting ready to do the movie. Then I realized the whole movie is about when he becomes Spawn. So Spawn is Al Simmons. And then I realized, well, to know where this thing is going years later, it really doesn't matter. So this is the birth of Spawn, so that's what I decided to focus on. And I wasn't wrong about that because he had to learn who he was. So, so there's research, but then there's unneeded research. So I realized that, hey, it's all about who Al Simmons is.
Yeah. Amazing performances, man. We could go on and on, but I know you're going to be still signing here.
Yep.
the rest of the day. And on Twitter, you are Michael Jai White on Twitter, at Michael Jai White on Twitter.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out about all these movies. Your production company is?
Gigantic Entertainment. It's spelled J-A-I. Gigantic.
So check out all those things. Everything's coming out. I think I looked at you got like, what, 5 things in production or 6 things? Something
I
crazy amount.
have,
You
I
got-
have 6, no, 7 movies coming out.
Amazing.
I just finished.
Amazing.
I just completed a movie before flying over here. That's a Christmas movie with Tony Braxton. It's called Priceless Christmas. And it's a cute movie that's gonna be out during Christmas.
You get into just about every genre, man. This is
Yeah, the
amazing.
movies that are coming out are all just very diverse. And I've got Triple Threat coming out. That's with Tony Jaa, Iko Uwais, and Tiger Chen, and Scott Adkins, and Michael Bisping. That's, you know what kind of movie that is. That's not a romantic movie. Yeah, and I got that, Making a Killing. That just started its theatrical run. It's gonna have a platform release. That's with myself and Christopher Lloyd and Mike Starr and Sally Kirkland. It's kind of like Fargo meets In the Heat of the Night. So that's shoot, some other. Oh yeah, The Hard Way. I did with Randy Couture. Another punch him in the head, kick him in the head movie.
An action flick.
Yeah, and it's another comedy. So not that one, but just another comedy. I can't think of what it is right now. But.
We're going to watch them all. We're going to follow you on Twitter. And my goodness, Michael Jai White, thank you so much for being here.